Title: He was fixing a car, but her voice took him somewhere else. Asterisk. The wrench slipped from his grease-stained fingers and clattered to the pavement. The sharp metal-on-concrete sound slicing through the soft hum of a quiet suburban afternoon. For a moment, his calloused hands froze mid-motion. Engine oil dripping slowly from his fingertips like time bleeding away. He hadn't heard that word, Dad, spoken in that voice, with that innocence, that warmth, in years. But just now, it had echoed behind him like a bullet from the past, straight into his chest. He turned slowly, eyes squinting against the sun, heart pounding against memories long buried beneath layers of grief, guilt, and rusted silence. Asterisk. If you believe in kindness, healing, and the power of second chances, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to USA Soul Stories, where every story holds a spark of the human soul. Asterisk. Back under the hood of a worn-down '98 Ford Taurus, Jack Cooper had built himself a quiet world of nuts, bolts, and broken engines. At 46, with a streak of silver in his beard and pain behind his eyes, Jack didn't talk much. He didn't laugh either. Not since the accident. Not since that night on Highway 15, when a single missed call and one too many regrets changed his life forever. He had been a mechanic most of his life, the kind who could fix just about any machine, but not the kind who knew how to fix hearts. Especially not his own. Asterisk. It had been 6 years since he'd last seen his daughter, Ellie. The name still tasted bittersweet in his mind. She was 8 when her mother packed up and left with her, tired of Jack's silence, his inability to process grief, his emotional withdrawal after their son, little Joey, passed away from leukemia. Jack blamed himself for not being there enough, for not recognizing the signs, for not getting a second opinion when the doctors gave up too soon. The pain carved a hollow space inside him where light used to be. And when Ellie left, the silence only deepened. He thought it was permanent. He thought he deserved it. Asterisk. That's why, when he heard the small voice call out, "Dad," from behind him that day at the auto shop, his body reacted before his brain did. He spun around in disbelief, blinking at the figure jogging toward him. For a moment, it wasn't Ellie he saw, but a girl around the same age Ellie had been when she left. Her curls bounced as she ran, and her smile was full of something pure, something Jack hadn't seen in years. Hope. Asterisk. But the girl wasn't his. She rushed into the arms of a man, stepping out of a nearby sedan, a young father, grinning and lifting her up with ease. Jack stood still, breath caught in his throat, a different kind of ache blooming in his chest. The memory had deceived him, drawn him into the past with cruel precision. He turned back to the car he was fixing, but the moment had already done its damage. Asterisk. Later that night, as the neon sign outside the shop flickered, Jack sat alone in the break room with an untouched cup of coffee and a crumpled photo in his wallet. Ellie and Joey playing in the backyard, sunlight on their faces. His hands trembled as he traced the photo's edges. He couldn't keep doing this, living like a ghost surrounded by machines. He had written dozens of letters to Ellie over the years, but never sent a single one. They sat in a dusty box beneath his bed, ink fading, words unsaid. That night, he pulled them out one by one, reading every line, every plea for forgiveness, every confession he was too afraid to make in person. Asterisk. The next morning, with the box of letters in hand, he drove to the only address he had left to return. Address from a holiday card Ellie's mother once mailed 5 years ago. He wasn't even sure they still lived there. His heart thudded with every passing mile. What would he say? Would she open the door? Would she even recognize him? What if she slammed it shut in his face? Asterisk. When he finally arrived, the neighborhood was quiet, drenched in the golden light of early evening. Jack stepped out of his truck, smoothed his shirt with nervous hands, and approached the house. He rang the doorbell and waited. The seconds stretched into lifetimes. Then the door opened. It wasn't Ellie who answered, but a woman in her 40s. Still with the same tired eyes, he remembered her mother. She froze when she saw him, and for a long moment, neither of them spoke. Finally, she whispered, "Jack." Asterisk, he held out the box like a peace offering. I needed her to have these. Asterisk, to his surprise, she didn't shut the door. Instead, she stepped aside. "She's upstairs. I'll call her." Asterisk Ellie came down slowly, and when she saw him, her eyes widened, confusion flickering across her face before recognition set in. She was 16 now, taller, more poised, but the same Ellie. She stared at him, silent, guarded. Asterisk. "I wrote you," he said, his voice barely steady. "I just couldn't. I didn't know how to fix what I broke." Asterisk, she didn't reply right away, but her eyes welled with tears, and she looked at the box in his hands. "Letters?" Asterisk, he nodded. "All for you." Asterisk, that night, they sat on the porch, reading them together. Some made her cry, some made her laugh. Others left her in silence, holding her father's weathered hand. Slowly, painfully, something cracked open between them, like sunlight breaking through a stormy sky. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't complete. But it was real. Asterisk Jack didn't move back in or try to make up for every lost year in a day. Instead, he showed up for school events, for birthdays, for quiet Sunday afternoons fixing her bicycle just to spend time with her. And Ellie, once so distant, began to let him in. Piece by piece, word by word, asterisk years passed, and Jack found himself rebuilding not just old cars, but trust, love, and purpose. He started a community program to teach troubled teens how to fix engines, a place where silence was okay, but healing was possible. And sometimes, Ellie came to help too. Asterisk, she would call across the garage. "Hey Dad, can you come check this?" Asterisk, and every time, Jack would smile. Because this time, he was really there. He had heard her voice, and it brought him back to life. Asterisk, if this story touched your heart, please consider liking the video, sharing it with someone who needs healing, subscribing to USA Soul Stories, and leaving a comment about someone you'd love to reconnect with. Your words may inspire someone else to take the first step. Asterisk, special request. In the comments below, tell us if you had one letter to send to someone from your past. Who would it be for, and what would it say?